Well, here we are. Book 6, The Immortal Highlander. And it's really small. It's only a little over 200 pages. Let's see. It doesn't I don't know why, but I have two copies. I just don't know why. But anyways, it's book 6 in the Highlander series. And welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy smancy stuff going on here. And if you could please hit the like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. We've only got 2 books left. Spell of the Highlander and Into the Dreaming. And so this book, however you want to look at it, started out kind of slow. And it took, this is Adam's book, by the way. The Adam, who's the Fae who's been messing with everybody's lives from the previous books. And we'll talk about that in a second. So this is Adam's book. And the Queen is mad at him that he broke his word. And she's decided to make him mortal. Not fully mortal, though, but semi-mortal. He doesn't know that until the end of the book. And I will tell you, spoiler, while it is a happy ending, I wish they had gone the other way. I understand why the characters did what they did, but I still would have gone the other way. But anyways, why couldn't they have both? But, you know. So, we start the book, we have Gabby, and she's our new female. And, she is, she works as a lawyer, and she can see the Fae. She can see the Fae walking around. A Sid seer, but she's been trained not to let them know because they don't want her to know she could be killed if they know she can see them. So she tries to hide her ability to see them. And she's really low on funds, and she's desperate. She's up for this big promotion. And she goes to the job interview, and she gets so startled by seeing the Fae that she spills her coffee on her interviewer and thereby loses that job. So she spends most of her days filling out lawyer briefs for cases. So we spend quite a few chapters on Gabby's life and what's going on in her life, and it just takes a long time to get going. And then when Adam shows up and realizes that she can see him because he's been looking for someone who can see him, the Queen made him invisible so she can help him contact Siren, but we never actually get to Siren. We do, however, get to Daegus and Drustan. Now, she spends a lot of time with the build-up, and we met Drustan here, him and Gwen, and then Daegus and Chloe in here. And these were better because they did the time traveling thing. They went back and forth. And there was adventure. There was stuff to learn. There was the characters learning about stuff in the past and in the future and stuff like that. There was stuff going on. There was stuff happening. And they were doing the time travel. They were having, they were trying to solve this issue. She was trying to learn about the past and learn about the present and trying to solve, and they had bad guys after them and this kind of stuff. So there was stuff going on. There's nothing going on here for the first 10, 11 chapters. And it kind of, it drags. Until Gabby finally concedes to help Adam, and they go to Scotland. And my favorite chapters are with Drustan and Daegus. Those are my favorite chapters of the whole book. I wish it could have lasted longer. I wish they didn't have to leave. Those are my favorite chapters. I enjoyed them immensely. catching up with the characters from the 2 previous books, finding out what's going on in their lives. It was just so much fun. I enjoyed it so much. And then Adam comes up with this plan to attract the queen's attention because these bad guys are after him, and once they get rid of him, they're gonna overthrow the queen. And they want to take over the council, the fairy council. There's this big thing to overthrow her. So Adam comes up with this plan to get the queen's attention. He explains to her what's going on. There's people coming after him to kill him. And so they set up this test to prove what he was saying. And it turns out to be the truth. And then stuff happens, and you get a couple of twisty turns at the ends. No bigs. But you feel bad for Gabby for a while. But like I said, I mean, it didn't take but 2 hours to read this book. It just went like this. And like I said, the beginning chapters, it just, there's not, it's just the relationship angst. It's just getting to know them. There's none of that. These were fun because they were going back in time. She was meeting new people. She was coming to face the fact that he was going back in time and going back and forth and all this kind of stuff. And so there was stuff going on. There's not much going on here the first 11 chapters. They just relationship angst. And you know me, I am not a contemporary romance person. But I'm enjoying the heck out of these books. I mean, those chapters with Daegus and Drustan were just, those were my favorite. And I could have had a double or triple of those. So we've got one more book. We've got this book, The Spell of the Highlander, to come. And the final book in the series, Into the Dreaming. And then we'll be finished with this. And then we'll be ready to do our if-then time travel for September. I think it's like 80. It might be if-then 80. I'm not sure. But I'm going to let me check my notes here to see if I forgot anything. Yeah, Adam, yep. So, but Adam, it's good that Adam finally gets his book. Like I said, I don't agree. I mean, it is a happy ending, and it is good. I would have liked to have kept the powers, too. But, but they do have a happy life afterwards. So maybe we'll see them again in a future book. I don't know yet. I haven't read them yet. So we'll see what happens. But if you could please hit the like and subscribe, I would appreciate it. Thank you.